So coming forwards, just spreading the arms forwards between, keep the block. You might want to press, if you want to remove the block, you can. It's quite nice to have the block there though, and just have the head coming towards the floor. So what I'd like you to do now is just open up the hands. So you've got the little finger of both hands pointing down. And you can, if you want to, you can use a brick between the hands here. So you've got a nice firm pressure. This is really good for the shoulders between the hands. If you've only got the one brick, you can come into extended child this way with sitting back on the heels. Okay, so whichever way you prefer, and just really start to press the hands into the outer edges of the brick. Good. So you've got that lovely pressure. And just breathing here. Good. And exhale. Good. And just make sure your feet are behind the knees. So if you've got your big toes together, and bring the feet behind the knees now, and start to curl the toes under. So you're kind of coming a little bit further forwards with the arms. And then take your left hand back, so it's on the left heel. And then with the right hand, you're going to spiral it across. As you come up, you're going to draw the thighs forwards and come into half camel. And then you're gently drawing that arm back down in a spiral towards the brick, then come back down to rest. And then reach forwards with the left hand, take the right hand to the heel. And again, press into that pinky side of the hand. Inhale, spiral that arm up and over and around as you come into half camel. And then exhaling, drawing it back down again. Good. Take that hand down to the block. Take the other hand to the brick. Good. This time you might be able to do it without the toes curled under. Okay, so you might be able to do it with the toes pressing into the floor. Okay, and repeat that sequence again. Left hand back to the heel. Right hand spirals on the diagonal across and back and up. And then curving gently back down. Spiraling back down, taking that hand towards the heel. The left hand extends towards the brick. Repeat the other side. Inhale, slowly folding and diagonalizing the arm into half camel. Exhaling, folding down slowly to the floor. Good. And then from here, reach both arms again to grab the brick. Press into the brick and lift up. So you've got your brick overhead, pressing into the hands. Good. And then look towards the brick and really press. See what's happening with the shoulders. See if you can draw the shoulders down the back. Keep pressing in. And can you take the hands behind the ears? Good. And then from here, take the brick between the legs. Might need to scoot up. Take the hands behind the sacrum and just start to come into a camel pose. So it's just a very mild back bend. This might be enough for you if you've got any tension in the lower back. Keep pressing the tailbone down toward the knees. Good. And you might even be able to curl the toes under and take hold of the ankles and come forwards. Keep squeezing the brick into a camel pose. Good. Tuck the chin and gently come and find your child pose again. You might need to release the brick forwards and grab. Good. And just settle in child just for a couple of breaths here, the counter pose to that camel pose. And then when you're ready, inhale, come up to all fours. And again, it's quite nice to move the knees a little bit further down. And I quite like to come down to the elbow down variation for the next pose. Okay, so we're going to come to a little bit of cow cat to dog and then elbow plank. Okay, so have the knees underneath the hips, have the toes. It's quite nice, you can, if you wish, curl them under. I think that's a good idea. And then you can start with the chest coming, so you're lifting the tailbone up, chest coming down towards the floor, looking forwards, really pressing the hands into the sides of the brick, and allow the shoulders to rest down as you look forward. You can always bring the chin down towards the floor. And then on the exhale, start to round the spine, draw the ears in line with the upper arms. And then just repeat a few more times. So inhaling, tailbone lifts, shoulders retract, heart lifts. Exhale, draw the belly in, start to round the back and keep pressing into the brick. So really good with the shoulders. So elbow down, releases the wrists, but really good to feel the undulation in the spine. Okay, one last one here. Draw the belly in, press into the bricks, and then lift up into downward facing dog. Keep pressing the hands against the brick. You might even need to walk the feet a little bit further forwards if you can. And then from here, draw the belly in, lift up to tippy toes, and start to come forwards so your chin comes down to the brick, and then come back. You might need to take the feet a little bit further back, just working at your own pace. So inhale, tiptoes, draw the belly in, spiral forwards into a high plank, bring the chin down towards that brick and come back. You can even bend the knees if you need to into downward facing dog. And just do one more of those. So belly in, elevate onto the toes, come forwards, rippling from the spine, press the heels back, chin down, and then come back to find your downward facing dog. Good. And then from here, drop the knees to the floor and come up to high kneeling. Well done. So we've worked the shoulders, we've worked a little bit into the upper back. Let's work the hips. So bring the right hip forwards, the right foot forwards even. Have a brick if you want to on this side. You can have it on, actually it's quite nice to have it on this side. So bring it towards the outer hip and start to sink forwards. You can, if you wish, have 2 bricks either side. So it's up to you. And start to sink forward so you've got the knee directly over the ankle. So finding that nice stretch in the psoas muscle. Okay. And then from here, take the right hand on top of the thigh, left hand on top, draw the tailbone in, so you're drawing the knee towards the heel, and then lift the arms up to the sky. Good. And then just start to draw the hands down, so you're drawing, rolling the shoulders down, and then press away with your tiger claws, and then make the tiger pause, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One last one. Inhale, tiger claws, exhale, tiger claws. Rah. Good. And then bring the hand down onto the outside of the block and just come into a side stretch, leaning in, so you're opening up the whole of the left lung. Good. And then take that hand forwards and draw down, so you're fanning out that hand to the side. You can even, if you want to, bring the hand onto the brick. Point the back toes and just start to use this hand like we did before. Spiral the arm up and over and out. So coming into a little variation of pigeon or lizard lunge. So just coming into a nice opening into the hip. But keep drawing this knee in towards the body rather than taking it out. Good. And just one last one there. Swooping in, back and down. Good. And then take the hands either side of the front foot, frame the foot, curl the back toes under, lift up and step back into downward facing dog, lifting the sit bones as high as you can. So when we come into our L-shaped handstand, come onto the tippy toes, draw the belly in, and you're kind of pumping the chest through towards the thighs. That's the action we want. And then draw the heels down if you've got length in the spine. Good. And then come to the tippy toes, draw the belly in, come forwards into a high plank, draw that left knee in towards the outer elbow, step that left foot through. Again, walk that right foot back if you need to, and drop the knee onto some support if you need to. Take your bricks if you still have them, and press up into Anjali Asana. You can point the back toes, or if you feel that your right hip tends to clop down, keep it lifted. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, sinking into that front left knee. Exhale, come into your tiger pose, drawing the elbows in. Take a breath here. And then exhale, round the spine, press away. Keep the knee over the ankle. Inhale. So it's just the upper body. Exhale. Tailbone drops down. You feel the stretch more in the psoas. Good, one last one. And exhale, push away. Take the hand, the right hand, or let's do the side stretch first. Take the left hand onto the brick and gently come into a side stretch. You can press the right toes into the floor. Good. So find that space in the right lung. Good. Breathe deeply into that right side. Good. And then take that right hand down. So you're fanning out the hand. And then you can reach forwards with the left hand on a diagonal, lightly do a camel pose and coming back. So just do 2 more of those. Inhale, arm sweep up and back. Good. And 1 more of those. Good. And then from here, just taking the hands, framing the foot, walk the foot in. Lift up the back knee, back into down dog. And have a little sway in the tail feathers. Good. From here then, just bring the knees down to the floor. Take hold, if you've got a blanket, it's really useful to have a blanket here, or you can roll up your mat. So it's quite nice to have a little bit of buoyancy when we come into wheel pose. It's like a reverse wheel pose. So have the blanket or folded blanket just in front, like so. So just watch for a minute. And then you're just going to come down so that your belly, well, just below the belly, so it's across the inner groins, is raising up. So you come back into your little Sphinx pose, and it just gives you a little bit more. So you might need to have a little wiggle until it's just underneath the navel. And if you've had dinner, this is where you feel it. Okay, we're just going to do a little extension of what we did before. So this time we're just going to lift up both knees. Point the toes, take hold of your bricks and start to press into a variation of Dhanurasana. So you have the hands pressing, you can have them pressing the heel of the hand pressing into a brick. Good. And then you might even be able to grab your feet. You can grab one foot, that's good enough. And then you could take the other foot. And then if you can, you might need to just bring the brick in front like this. If you can take both feet and start to push back into your hands to take reverse wheel. And breathe. Good, and then releasing all the way down. Have a little wiggle. Press the hands to the floor and come back and find child pose. Well done. Find a child pose that works for you. Have a little rock in that child. It's quite nice here from this position just to find the length in the spine by lifting up the sit bones and then planting them down as the feet drop to the floor. And then for the shoulder alignment, grabbing the outer edges, rolling, so you've got the outer shoulders coming underneath, so you can see the lift in my chest, yeah? And then you can start to lift up to get that length in the spine. Have a block handy for this. So we're going to come into a little bridge pose to start with. So hands are now flat on the floor. We inhale, we press the pelvis away and an anterior pelvic tilt. And then exhale, draw in and lift up. And then from this position, it's really good to get it into the higher orientation. So drawing it onto the higher orientation, so it's pressing into your sacrum like this. So you can see what's happening in my chest. It's really expansive. This might be enough. You might even be able to lift up a little bit higher and grip the fingers together. So that might be enough for you tonight. Okay, so this is preparation for wheel. Okay, just let go of, so sometimes we take too much tension into the legs. You can, if you want to, just stretch out the psoas muscle a little bit on one side, and then you can come to the other side, just stretching out. So this is really good preparation. And then from here, the setup looks like this. We take the hands, so the fingertips are pointing in towards our shoulders. And I like to have it slightly further away, and then it's a slight pressure, so you're aligning the elbows, so the elbows are stacking over the tops of the wrists, okay? The feet walk in a little bit closer, and then you're pressing in to lift up. And then to come out of it, tuck the chin down, gently come down, rolling back. And you might even want to take the brick away. Just gently lower and hug in. And we'll stay with the energy frame pose for about 5 breaths.